Mexico, Honduras.
You went up the.
Believe.
Yeah, or these.
Yes.
Coast and then the, it was, I mean, it was nice. First 3 days was good. It was chilly and morning. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That's again up there.
Yeah, all
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
This. But, you know, we try to film and stuff, so.
Right.
They had a project picture for the new sign. Look at that. It looks good. It looks really nice.
I thought it was cheap. You could tell.
Thanks. And the quality of it's unreal. Yeah, it looks really good.
I think that's.
Nice one, February. 7 afternoons. It's everything in there. She said, I can't see it inclusive.
Yeah, today,
Oh, Nashville,
250.
Yeah.
Cheap to take.
yeah, they're making a big deal out of it.
Right.
Each.
Sure.
That's really.
Keep yourself.
We were up there.
Yeah.
It's very
What's Katie National Park?
Yeah, but it's all at the top of that. It's. You're on the way.
It was windy as hell out there when we were there.
It was beautiful. And they said, you know, Monday it's windy and all windy and.
Right.
But
We had clear.
It was a good one. We walked down. So then we give us a little kind of figure, 30 hours for you. Yeah. We're gonna give you a little bit of window. It's not.
They're into the highway.
Certain day. 88. I mean, it's kind of for a car.
No, it's not.
50 kids.
Yeah, we just say it's flat.
Yeah.
So we got one kid.
Like I care.
You guys just.
That's the only.
Ask for one. But
You want to be able to walk. They had to be. Not too much. Go on. Pretty cushy.
yeah. Exactly.
Am I gonna go first?
One year gets sick and between the two of them, mom gets sick.
Yes, signs.
Yeah.
What's happening?
What's that?
That's what I have to do.
I think once I have a germ state, I'll be in there. What the rest of the farmer had happy?
I mean, it's 2 months late, but. Too much at one time. Really, even, it's not so much. Too much.
It's still got that franchise.
Yeah.
At least we got some.
Good meeting, right?
It's built. It held up.
We don't get it.
See what it was. I mean, I looked. I looked a couple of times, like, I got one that's small. Good. Yeah. We didn't get it down. Yeah.
The rain was. There's not a lot of standing water. There's not a lot of standing water around right now.
Okay, we are good for time. If we want to rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance together.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, welcome. Few items to mention for this evening. If everyone could please silence their cell phones, their watches, etc. Our meetings are public and recorded. This is a business meeting, so we ask everyone to conduct themselves in a professional manner. Our city code allows for public comment up to 3 minutes. And for best sound quality, please lean into these microphones to speak. We're going to do a little bit different order this evening and start with Public Works. So Josh, are you ready with your folks in that? And okay, because we'll have a presentation as part of this.
Okay, I like to call the Public Works at 6 o'clock with myself, Dojan, Hanabut, and Parsons present. Nevoice is absent. Under old business, power plant report.
We've just been having our generation runs per our schedule.
Okay. Utilities and streets.
Under electric and gas, the business park installation still coming up this fall. Getting ready to seed that, then they'll get the stakes in and we'll know make sure we're in all the easements and everything and get that going. Some of the materials getting ready to put on order. Air on the water, aerator maintenance and cleaning. We did that last week, working on some piping repairs down there on well 13. And we should be starting some hydrant flushing here soon. This week and hopefully in the next part of our maintenance there. Nothing under the sewer. Under streets, curb and gutter replacement should be starting soon. Work notices have been sent out. We did a little bit of seeding last week. We got the rental to do the rest of the seeding this week. And then we'll be getting up on the Christmas season prep work coming up with the tree decorations, the temp electrics and everything else that we need to do for the Santa's Village.
Okay, the utility rate study.
Yes, I should have as long as they're logged in. Bob Blank and Dan Caspon with Utility Financial Solutions. This is the electric rate study that we've been working on for quite a while. We've been going back and forth. We've got kind of the presentation here. I'll just preface by saying that, I'm not expecting you guys to give the answer tonight. It's going to be a lot of information. I figured that way they can do a presentation, get the information in front of you, then we can have a further discussion. And that way, if you guys have any questions, I can go back to them, get answers. And then maybe come back in November to talk about this and then look at when we want to do that and then do a start date sometime after the first of the year. So with that, if they're available, John, I guess, and I did hand out the presentation so as they can, maybe if they're able to talk and go through it. You guys can look through it as they go.
Great. Well, thank you very much for having us. You're muted. Is the administrative officer able to unmute Bob? Okay. Hello, is everyone able to hear me? Yep. Perfect.
My name is Bob Blank with UFS. Thank you again for having me and Dan Casbaum. We've been working with Josh for a while now to conduct this rate study and go through the cost of service, financial projection, and then some rate design discussion that we're looking for some input in. But we do have some examples of a 3-year rate design for you. On slide 2 here, what goes into a rate study is kind of 3 separate studies. We have the financial projection portion, our cost of service portion, and then the recommendations that would include the rate design.
Bob?
Yep.
Real quick, I don't see, are you sharing the PowerPoint?
It's not allowing me to share. So I was going to talk through the.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, Josh is calling me here quick.
Oh, I see sharing is not turned on.
the transformers and.
Yeah,
Our
the costs are
stuff's
just going
dated
up,
and
so it's, you know, with replacement cost and everything, you're just, and we haven't seen a rate increase since 2011 in electric, so. You know, and that's where if you do this and then in 5 years you look at it again, you know, it may be to where it's 2%,
Right.
you know, or, but that's why since it's been a little longer duration, that's where you're seeing a little bit larger, but I mean, we're not that far. I mean, they've seen some a lot higher ones before in that, so it's
Okay, you got anything under succession planning?
no update there.
Okay, under new business, I'd like to make a motion to approve the prior month meeting minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is a sewer adjustment for 817 East Olive Street. Okay.
Yes, the their had a leak on their service line that did not enter their sewer. And per the adjustment request and the calculations, they would be eligible for a sewer credit of $692.40.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we make a sewer adjustment at 817 East Olive Street in the amount of $692.40.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the lead and copper sample coupons.
This is just our the ones we've been doing for our 60 or every 6 months, and then we've also had some additional sampling that we've had to do. And with that, because of the lead and coppers, we have to take 5 samples. They have to take 5 consecutive samples and everything else. There's a lot going to it. They got to make sure they don't use water and everything else. So that's what with what we're doing there. So I would just like to do have the recommendation for the $10 per site, and then any additional sampling. For the normal 6-month sampling, it amounts to $400. And then we might have like 3 or 4 if we have to do some additional sampling. So it's not amounting to a lot, but wanted to get council approval for those coupons.
Okay, it's something you do every year.
This is something,
Right.
yes.
So I'd like to make a motion. We approve the lead and copper sampling coupons at $10 each, or $10 coupons for additional samplings.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is recommendation to end Max Walter 6-month probationary period effective 10/26/25.
Yes, and then the other one would be Zach Groman's effective 10/25/25.
I need a motion on the first one at Max's.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And next one is a recommendation to end Zach Groman's 6-month probationary period effective 10/25/25.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the Local Government Billing Act.
Yes, this is something I had sent I received it through one of my IMUA updates. And it's House Bill 3725 that was signed into law this summer. There's some new requirements, just kind of some information at this time. You may need to have the attorney update our ordinances accordingly based on this new law. It's if there is any back billing for residential customers, it can only be for 12 months, and commercial customers for 24 months. And then you can see what it says, how it says, if it was accrued to that, then they have the option of a payment arrangement. So it's something that's now set in law that would be effective January 1st. But just wanted to get the information to you guys after speaking with the mayor in front of you, just to kind of take a look at. This is something that's upcoming, so.
So is there anything we got to move?
Nothing I think we need to do. I mean, unless you are good with of making a recommendation to for the city attorney to draft ordinance as required when that time comes.
So we'll pretty much let it go to them.
Mhm.
Okay. Next item is the Unit 15 trencher replacement.
Yes, this is in the capital plan. It was a budgeted item. I did, and I'll start off too. I did discuss with Liz with all the finances for this. I have tuned 2 quotes, both using the Sourcewell pricing. Existing unit on this would be traded in. The quote that you have in front of you is from Ditch Witch. after trade, it would be $44,960.23. After trade, we had plenty in there for the out of the budget side. And the capital plan would be coming out of the electric and gas funds.
Okay.
And I will say that the other quote was very comparable, just less on the trade, so that's what the difference was there.
Anybody got any questions?
The years are current.
90. 96, 90
Oh.
something.
We're due.
It's
Yeah.
old.
So
Yes,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the quote from Ditch Witch not to exceed $45,000. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the Unit 30 vacuum excavator proposal.
yes, this would be for the vacuum excavator, the one we had, I'd been putting in my weekly email that we went to go have that looked at for repairs, but the cost of repairs of that was far more than what we paid for the unit itself. And that not knowing even if once they did the first round of repairs, what additional stuff was gonna be needed. And again, I did speak with Liz on this. This is and obtained two quotes, both and obviously both using Sourcewell pricing. And then the plan would be, if approved, then it's sell the existing unit on Gov Deals. With like we have with other equipment. And my recommendation would be for the vac machine VX 5800 from Vermeer Midwest. In the amount of $135,333.
So you have down here monthly payment, is that?
That's just what they put on their proposal. It would be a straight purchase.
Okay.
We bought our current used.
Yes. And like I said, once we have this, and we could have this for a very long extended period of time.
I know you've been renting or borrowing Collins quite a bit here.
Yeah, we
recently.
had to get some of that stuff in, so.
Anyway, anybody got any questions about this? Not, I'd like to make a motion to approve the vacuum excavator proposal at $135,33. $135,333. There we go.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the 2026 APPA legislative rally.
Yes, this is just the normal approval for myself and the mayor to attend. And then if for some reason she wouldn't be able to, if another alderman or council member would want to, would just need approval or just seeking approval for us to attend that. And as a reminder, all airfare and hotel costs are reimbursed by IMEA. Along with the registration fee is directly covered by them for the conference. And then like I said, airfare and hotel are reimbursed.
Okay, with that, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the 2026 APA legislative rally for Josh and the mayor to attend.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any other good public comments? Not, I make a motion to adjourn at 6:41.
All right. Next up is their finance committee, and Alderman Mueller is out tonight, so I will take this one. So I will call the finance committee meeting to order at 6:42. Mueller is absent. Demond, Hanabit, Peel are present, and Nevoy is absent. First order is I'll call for a motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes. Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries on that. Next item is our CDs. You'll see the investment registrar in your packet. We have already gave Liz authorization to move on those top two CDs. I don't know if you have anything to contribute while you're here with us this evening.
So we will be reinvesting the City Hall Code and Planning CD with Buena Vista at 4.1% for 12 months.
Okay. All righty. Thanks, Liz. Next item on our agenda is the RMA insurance renewal. There is a copy in your packet. I'm going to defer to Liz since she's here to speak a word or two about that.
Okay, so this is the renewal for our general liability insurance, workers' comp. We had a 3.75% increase from last year's premium. And that was mainly due to the workers' comp for the payroll added for the pool employees. And if we pay it by November 14th, we get a 1% discount. So we'd be paying $246, $570.93.
Okay, any questions on that? I just need a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All righty, next up, our audit. Previously Liz has shared the full audit. We didn't put the full package in here, but there is the management letter that came with it. And incidentally, we had actually fixed this by the time they did the audit, so this management letter is really null. So beyond that, all I would really need is to call for a motion to approve the FY25 audit.
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries on that. Next up is our financial dashboard. We are 5 months into the fiscal year. So our probably notable on the revenue is we're still waiting on real estate taxes, although I'll let Liz chime in on this one.
Surprisingly enough, in the mail today, we received our first check for real estate taxes.
Yeah,
So, and we weren't expecting that until like December.
Yeah, so despite the fact our first installment isn't due until next week, Friday, this Friday, I'm getting my weeks mixed up, this Friday. I think enough people had paid in that they felt comfortable starting to do some distributions, which is incredible. So I called the treasurer this afternoon and thanked him for his efforts. So, but anyhow, we'll see some real estate coming in here shortly. So right now we have 44% of our revenues in, and our expenditures, we're only at 26%. The cash is noted at the bottom. The loans are noted at the bottom. Does anyone have any questions on the dashboard? Okay, hearing none, I'll move on. Illinois Farm Bureau Rural Development Grant. Okay, sometimes cruising through Facebook has its advantages. This was literally listed on Facebook one day as a grant, so we took a look at it. This is due between now and December 1st. Page 2 in your packet with the bullet points outlines the various ways we can ask for money. It looks like in digging into last year, on a news article that came out, last year's grants ranged from $1,300 to $10,000. So this isn't monumental, but this will help in some small way with something. So if we can just get approval this evening to go forward, we'll keep sorting this out, figure out what project is best under these guidelines for this grant. So I would just need approval to apply for this grant. For a motion. Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Illinois Farm Bureau grant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No one, anyone opposed? Motion carries. City Hall blinds is the next item up. This quote is a little bit different than what you saw in the past. We have been trying to work with these blinds. You'll see some of them laying on the floor back here. They aren't necessarily in the shape we first thought they were going to be. I think 20 some years of sun and age has done their toll on them. Plus trying to get anything to match, even if we can piecemeal, we're going to have a problem with things matching. So it really would be best to go ahead and approve. And this is a little bit more downsized. It was just the absolute blinds we absolutely need for this project in order to finish off and get these windows covered back up. So the estimate in your packet is about 16.2. So I would call for a motion for maybe like not to exceed 16.5, just to keep it close. 20 something, but I think she had included a few others downstairs that we felt, you know, we really took another look. It's like, no, they've got a little bit more life in them. Yeah, quite a bit. Okay, I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and second for the City Hall blinds not to exceed 16.5. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Next up, we have a request from the Redbud History Museum, and we have a representative here this evening. Jill had in her Friday update that the History Museum has identified some historic buildings in town, and they'd like to recognize what we call the YMCA building now and make a marker for Preston Bricky. They're asking for $150 per plaque, not to exceed 300 for both, and I presume both meaning this building and the YMCA building.
YMCA building.
If you can identify, say your name and,
I'm Charles Rath, representing Red Bud Area Museum.
okay,
The $150 a piece would be for the YMCA building and for the historical plaque for the city of Red Bud's founding. We're gonna have, if I can get it out here. It's gonna be a stone, it's gonna be a stone marker. If you want to look, I can pass it around. It's a Preston Bricky Homestead. It's on a stone made by Glenn Galo's business down there. And they're gonna donate the printing and the stone.
very nice.
And the plaque is gonna be donated by Raceline. That's gonna be like this. And it's gonna have the city of Red Bud, a timeline from when they started. And we did the same thing for the YMCA building. If you wanna see that, I can pass that around also. It's who owned the building, who built the building, and who currently owned it.
Okay,
That could be updated. I don't have all maybe the facts on I have since 2014, it was occupied by Southwest YMCA Fitness Center. So that's what I have for that, for the end of it, but
okay. So the request is $300 in
$300
total.
total. So
Okay.
is what we're asking is it'd be a donation.
Okay,
Since we're a nonprofit, it has to be a donation.
okay, so we're getting something in return, so, okay.
And I can pass this stuff around if you want to look at it, but that stone is going to be placed on the Gilo property, it's on, just this side of the railroad tracks.
So that's the original site.
It is not the original site. The original site is not known. The original site, it says north of the railroad track, but you know, there's no exact spot. No, we're gonna go, no.
Well, I mean.
I'm
you're
gonna say,
close.
I said Preston Bricky built a small log cabin in 1820, close to this location. The exact spot is not known. So that's what I'm going,
That's historically accurate, what you said.
right. Okay, so that would be a plaque like this. On a plaque like this. On a pole mounted to the back of this stone.
Okay, great. Anybody else have any other questions or? Okay, I'll call for a motion for $300 for the Red Bud History Museum for the items as explained.
So move. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So
Yep.
this will carry over to the city council meeting in early November.
All right, thank you very much.
Uh-huh. Okay, public comment, anything for the good of the city? Okay, hearing none, I will close this meeting at 6:50 PM. And we will move on to Personnel Committee and wish Jeremy a happy birthday while we do that.
Thank you. Call the personnel committee to order at 6:51. Myself, Dojan, Giebert, Parsons and Peel are all here. We have no old business. Under new business, make the motion for approval of the prior month's meeting minutes, September 15, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Next up, we have a request for Jill Landgraf to go to the Downstate City County Management Association fall meeting on December 4th through 5th. Looks like it's for reimbursement for gas and lodging, not to exceed $500. I would make a motion to accept that request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any public comments, anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, I'll close Personnel Committee at 6:51.
Okay, next up, Public Health and Safety.
Thank you. I'll call Public Health and Safety at 6:52. Myself, Dojan, Hebert, Parsons are present. Mueller is absent. I've got allergies, so excuse me. We have no old business. Under new business, I'll make a motion. We approve the September 15th, 2025 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Departmental activity report, you've all got a copy of it in your packet. Anybody got any questions for John? Nope, okay. The next item, as it's noted, is for discussion only. We have kind of been in discussion with the school district concerning an SRO officer in the school. We've talked about this several times in the past and things just didn't work in the right direction and the funding wasn't there and whatever. Anyways, this time I think we got a pretty good base set. We haven't finalized anything with the school district. We wanted to kind of get together tonight and get your opinion before we move forward with it anymore. Basically, a couple things that they hope changes is they, on the April ballot, they are going to try to change how the 1% tax is dispersed, the 1% that we already have. And they propose to use a portion of that for an SRO officer in the school. So it would kind of fund it for them, but if not, they're still committed to it. They're willing to pay 75% of what we come up with a number for them of what it cost us to, hire an officer, train an officer, outfit an officer, insurance, retirement, whatever. They will pay 75% of that. I think right now it kind of sounds like maybe we'd be looking at a 3-year contract with them. So that it's not just a one and done year, to where they can, after a year, say, no, we're not interested. Because then we're kind of stuck with another officer. So Liz, am I missing anything? Susan? John?
I think so.
Okay. Basically, what we're looking for tonight is an A or an A. So
So is
anybody have
this
any
an outside
opposition?
entity that this is coming from? This is an outside entity that the officer is, or is it one of our own officers?
Well, we'll have to go through. John can explain that.
I would, as normally, we'd put it out to the full-time officers, see if anybody was interested. If nobody would be interested there, then we would put it out to our part-time officers. If nobody's interested then we'd look outside the department. But we always try to go in-house first and then work our way out.
And it would be considered a full-time job, I would assume, right? 5 days a
Yeah,
week.
So we'd
Okay.
have to move somebody to that full-time position if somebody in-house would take it, and then hire somebody
To
come in
replace that, yeah.
to replace that person.
And then Alan, you make a point of a full-time officer since basically 75% of the time, because there's, I forgot exactly how many school days there are in a year. I've got it here somewhere, 175 days a year that officer would be at the school. The remainder part of their full-time job, John would reassign them to normal police duties outside of the school. So they would be, we'd actually pick up a quarter of an FTE in the end of this.
Mhm.
The
During
70,
probably a busy time.
0.75 would be at the school, 0.25 will be back within the city.
And will it be between the high school and the grade school, or is it?
Correct.
Okay,
They'd be going back and forth.
okay.
Yeah, they would share time, or I guess however they work it out, where they.
And
feel
it'd
it's
be
most needed.
probably adjust for sporting events, not maybe come in late one day if they're gonna be at a sporting event that evening.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
And the officer would report to John. John's gonna be their boss, so. I think they will have an office, the last we discussed, in the school building. To keep whatever they need there, and, there's a lot of little details to work out on it yet.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in the world we live in today, it's probably time.
Mhm.
So I know in the past when we discussed this, it was grant related. Is there anything out there like that again? Or is it just they're willing to fund the 75%, we do 25%, or is
They're willing to fund it.
good enough? I'm in regardless.
Yeah,
So,
that's always been the sticking point before, some grant money or this money or that money. They've committed to 75%.
That's,
Whether their deal in April passes or not, they're committed to.
and that's it. And I know you did mention equipment. So if we buy a vehicle, they're gonna pay 75% of a squad car and outfitting and everything.
We're working on that roughly.
Great.
That's the number we're trying to come to.
Perfect.
Liz has been putting some numbers together of what does a vehicle actually cost us? What does insurance actually cost us? That sort of thing.
And you will see, as Bill has alluded to, that there will be a ballot question this in the spring where they're already getting that 1% sales tax. So rather than only using it for A, they're asking, can we also use it for B? There's no increase in taxes. They just want to shift the usage of those tax dollars.
Regardless, that's only for their purposes.
For their
They're in
purpose,
on this regardless. So if we're, do they want to
It's
wait
not
until
gonna change
after?
our position.
No, they want.
No, I
they
just
wanna
didn't
go
know what kind of a time frame are we looking at? Are they wanting to wait for that? Or are we able
They
to
they
move
would like to
at a
move
faster
forward
pace?
as quickly as we can work through everything.
Yeah, they,
We're looking at first of the year, 1st of February,
yeah, I mean,
somewhere in that area, probably.
they've given us a green light to move as quickly
You
as,
know, to
see,
kind
we've
of-
got to go through here. We've got to go
Yeah.
across the street.
Mhm.
We need to talk with
So,
Barney. There's a lot of
Yeah,
pieces.
once we get a contract finalized that Rebecca would approve, then we'll bring it back to you guys and for final approval. So there won't be anything done until you got actual numbers in front of you.
Sure.
And that sort of thing. So you know where we're at.
But we didn't want to start going through those hoops if this group was not in favor of going forward.
So I haven't heard any opposition. I'm assuming everyone would be willing to move forward.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, and that's all we really need on that tonight. So
thank
we're
you.
gonna get together again in the next week or so and try to get a document together and get it to them and
Great.
kind of move from there. So hopefully next committee meetings we'll have something to bring forward. So let's see, public comments, anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, I adjourn at 6:59.
Okay, next up, Cultural Committee.
Okay, thank you. I will call cultural committee to order at 6:59. Myself, Damon, Dojan, and Giebert are present. Mueller is absent. We have no old business, piece of new business here. I'll make a motion to approve prior month meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And we have a request from the FFA for a hot chocolate run on November 28th, which I believe they are here to speak about.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Emma Carter with the Red Bud FFA, and we just request to do our hot chocolate run again this year. We started this last year. We felt it was very successful. Our main goal is just to increase our outreach in the community. As an FFA chapter, we have to complete a program of activities to compete at the national level. And this was a big event that we used in that allowed us to be a national finalist with our program activities, and we want to continue it again this year. We have one specific request that our alumni members of our chapter be allowed to help barricade the side streets to protect our runners, because that was an issue that we had last year.
That's correct. They need to have flashlight and probably yellow vests. Okay,
Mhm.
just so they're well visible, and if somebody's coming up, they can kind of flash the flashlight to keep them. Because the intrusion in the route was the biggest issue we had.
Yeah.
So,
And then, John, would they actually are you planning that they use actual barricades or that humans would become the barricade?
I think last year we had barricades up also.
Is
so I
that
think-
possible,
I think-
Josh, to have that many barricades?
It's just the other ones will be set up, I'm assuming same night as the lighted parade, so you're gonna have a street closure already.
Okay, but do you do Bloom? Because they'll come down.
What's that?
they'll
But
come-
yeah, then that's just the side streets. So
But John, did you want those blocked coming on into Bloom?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, any intrusion into that route, 'cause I don't want somebody to get hit.
Okay, that's where I'm questioning if we have enough barricades.
we'd have, I mean, just you put one or something at each one. You guys caution tape if you need so. Plus we have those taller stand cones if we would need them.
Oh, okay, that's right. We've got those too.
But just keep in mind that we would have to, just kind of keep an eye on that Fifth Street Rose Lane section, because that would be the only entrance out into that area. So if somebody were, we have to just keep an eye on that one area I just noticed, so.
Is there any questions?
I don't think so.
How many runners did you have last year?
75 approximately.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Maybe I'll make a motion.
So I will make a motion that we approve the FFA Hot Chocolate Run November 28th, 2025, with the alumni doing some of the blocking and coordinating other barricades.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moves. I will call to close Cultural Committee at 7:03. Oh, any public comments, anything for the good of the city?
No, other than Emma, I'll just comment, same as I did earlier, since this is committee, so we did an approval here at committee, then this will shift to the full council meeting, and that'll be November 3rd, and that's when everybody approves it here, and that's when it becomes official.
Okay, I will close Cultural Committee at 7:04.
Okay, next up is zoning committee.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll call zoning committee meeting to order at 7:04. Myself, Damon, Ebert, Mueller is absent and Nevoy is absent. Old business, the only thing on that is we have a planning committee meeting tomorrow, so we should have a recommendation for from the planning commission for the November meeting on the comprehensive plan. So everything's been reviewed and changed, anything that they've deemed necessary so far. So they're going to review everything again tomorrow night. But we should have a recommendation in November. New business, I'd like to make a motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes from September 15th, 2025.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item is the City Hall Improvement Phase 2 tuck pointing. Jeff had asked me to just recommend or to mention he would like the authorization for Jeff to let Quadrant Design fill out a contract and update the most recent estimate that we had, which was from 2023. I think from discussing with him, and I know the mayor's been involved with it also, the phase 1, initially we had tuck pointing as part of that, not the entire building though. It was only, I think, one side that was going to get put in with everything else. And then we had decided to just kind of table the tuck pointing until we got everything weatherproofed, and then we were going to come back and do the tuck pointing again later. So he's basically wanting to get this, that he can go off for, to get the estimate again, get an updated estimate on the tuck pointing. Any discussion on that? I mean, obviously that's one of the next big things to get done to the building to make sure we maintain it. All right, I will make a motion to allow Jeff to get with Quadrant Design to update the contract and the estimate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And any public comments or anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, I will adjourn the zoning committee at 7:06.
Okay, and last but not least, recreational facilities this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Myself, Damon, Hannibal, and Peel are present. Nevoy is absent. Under old business, pool post-season plan. Josh has a piece of paper here and I will let him fill us in.
Yeah, this is just kind of a follow-up to the last month's meeting where we had briefly discussed this, and then Alderman Nevoy had asked about some of the other options being redoing like the filter, the chemical feeds, and then also possibly moving that filter room above ground. I know Kyle and the mayor have been on the emails back and forth that we've been going back and forth since right after that meeting. And I had a meeting again with them last week. And in looking at, I'll just kind of go and say the options of really redoing the filters and the pump room to update like the pump, the filter, the chemical feed, and or move it above ground. I would say they're looking at, you can see at the note on my bottom, it could be $500,000 or higher, just because of the fact that they said to meet up with the new regulations, once you do that, you have to have Department of Public Health permits, and they're gonna require it to be up to today's standards. That could also then require that you have to redo all of the piping to underneath the pool, to around it, everything. So that's where they're like, our recommendation on a 60-year-old pool would be that if you can replace the piping in there like for like. I did put an email into my contact at the Department of Public Health to get something writing that they originally kind of said that if you do just a like for like pipe replacement or pump, not a pump change, but like you got to change your valve, change the piping. If a pipe leaks, you got to fix it. Just we would switch some of that, all that over to Schedule 40. You know, I tried to get that. What would that, you know, could we do that without any DPH involvement? So we had got two quotes. One was originally what we had discussed was the Eric quote, which was the for the piping replacement just in the basement was $49,970. That included those valves, like for like replacing what's there. I did receive a quote for that work also from Landmark Aquatic, which was higher than that, but 72,000 for that piping replacement. So that's one option, is to, if we want to try and see pending, you know, no IDPH permit required, because then if they would get involved, we could change some things. You know, that would be an option to do that. The top part of my sheet there that I kind of skipped over would be that the deck pipe, the deck drains where they're rusted, and that the pipe that we had the camera work done to inspect those camera to try and determine why maybe some of that sand was getting in there. So the 4991, that's for to do the piping for the deck drains. And then I verified with Eric that it's before the supply lines and the deck drains. The option that I have listed there at 4392 is for them to do the excavation and provide the backfill for that. And then we had previously got a quote, you know, or a estimate for the concrete removal and replacement, 25,000. I know the quote that I originally said was 18,000, but that only included part of the concrete. So if they did 18 for only part of it, it's going to be way higher on their estimate if we were to double that for the next section, especially being all the way around the pool. And this was the concrete all the way around the pool to make sure we get that backfill back up all the way, fix the piping in those two suspect areas on the west side and that southwest corner, and then get all fresh backfill in and new concrete, as well as fix where those deck drains are at that has the old cast iron piping that we do have some flooding in there when we do get extensive rains, that water just can't get away quite as fast. So if you were just to do the concrete removal replacement and the deck piping, the two different areas for the on the deck of the piping replacement, you'd be looking at $43,766. Another thing that's kind of come up last time we would done this was in 2018, was we had the pool repainted. At that time it was 18,000 and some change. I've got a message into that company. I had not heard back yet, but I just put an estimate in there of 25,000 because it could use to be repainted again. It has faded out to help with that as well. I put that estimate in there. So if council were to decide to move forward with the piping replacements on the deck, the piping replacements like for like in the filter room, pending no IDPH involvement, and then the pool painting, you'd be looking at approximately just under $119,000 worth of work.
What kind of time frame would they be looking at? I mean, when would we need to give them the go ahead to get it done by?
I mean,
full season.
You know, with concrete work, I mean, you want to get the concrete out, kind of get the piping in place and get it poured back. I mean, depending on what weather's like, you could still kind of do that. And
well, my question is, do we want to kind of hold off until we hear from ID?
I mean, another option would be that you can say that we want to for sure do the deck piping with the sand issue. You could say that, and then you could approve pending response from, you know, because they're separate items. So, I mean, you know, if we do if we can, and it's broke out on the Eric quote as separate items. So you have the pool room and then you have the floor drain. So they had it as a separate item on their proposal. So that, you know, we could break that out into two potentially. Or, you know, you could approve the one, knowing we're gonna have that $25,000 budget line item for painting. And then depending what IDPH says, you know, the filter room piping.
Yeah, where are we at in the current budget, Liz? Do we have? I know there was a little bit of money in the capital plan.
I would say it's like 60,000 in that full line item on the capital plan.
I would think it's something in that neighborhood. So we're gonna have to find money from somewhere else. We can put our heads together and figure that out.
And I will say that, in talking with that, the 25,000 was on the high end. If they can get certain kind of equipment in there to do them removals, that cost he said could go down on that concrete removal.
How long do you think it's gonna get? You'll get an answer from IDPH.
I emailed them last week right after our meeting, so, and that was just last
Maybe.
Thursday. Usually I get a phone call to them. A lot of times when I've emailed them before on regarding inspections, I've got a pretty quick response. Now, he may be having to ask a few questions. I don't know. I may have an answer before the council meeting and we can just leave this all as a separate line item at the council meeting and hope I have an answer by then, and I can keep everyone updated through my weekly email.
Or I
And
guess,
then Liz could even update
I mean,
you.
whichever way you want.
I mean, the end result's still the same. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, we know we have to do the pipes. I mean, we can just wait in here and then go from there, I guess.
I mean, yeah, they're not gonna be able to do anything until after the council meeting to begin with.
Right.
Correct.
So bottom line is, if you don't hear back from IDPH by then, you could put the top one
Correct.
as a line on the
Mhm.
council agenda and go from there.
Yes, but that's what I just wanted to get the information in front of you. And basically say that the other options, I think the mayor was on the meeting, can really not, because you're looking at, if they get into that, they said that because there's a lip on those gutters, they've actually had the Department of Public Health come in and say, you've got to get rid of the lip. And so now you're having to redo your whole gutter system. And so it just, and they said, there's no way we could really give you a good number because we don't know what they're going to come back and tell us.
Yeah, this is
And-
really as much as we can do with the situation we have with a 64 going on 65-year-old pool. This is the best we can do. But this will improve things quite a bit.
You know, and if you get the piping fixed and you don't have the sand issue, you know, and you do some of the other things, you might just be able to, you know, work through. So we'll wait to, I guess we'll leave it as Kyle, we can wait to hear from council. We'll keep it on the separate line item for the council meeting itself for approval pending whatever I find out between now and then.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but for some reason, I'm thinking Carlisle's pool has always been there. Like it was an old pool. They refurbished the whole thing. I don't recall all the details of it, but maybe it'd be worth reaching out to them to see if they did something different, you know, because I think it seemed to me like theirs was like covered in, like they put a liner inside of it or something like that. I don't remember.
There's
Maybe
ways
it
they
was-
have a they talked about it. It's like they have done that to pools. They said there is pools out there that were built 80, 90 years ago that they've done renovations to. They said what, Cape Girardeau 2 or 3 times that they've done renovations on their facility. One of them is if your concrete's not, if your pool integrity is intact, you're not having any problems. They said then things can last. It's just the piping and everything that goes along with it. You get to that point, they said there is a liner and it's like that the welded, like you like the flat roof, the rubber roofs, and EDPM, you know, membrane type liner that they put into pools too. So there's always those type of options as well.
Yeah, we just go down a slippery slope when we get down in that filter room and start
Mhm.
messing with too much down
Because
there.
if you do a like for like, that's what we're hoping for. You're just take this pipe needs to be replaced. We're going to replace the pipe. We're not changing it. We're not trying to change the working system of it.
Right.
You gotta think 1961, it was great then. So
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, no action taken. Under new business, I'll make the motion to approve prior month's meeting minutes, September 15th, 2025.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comments, anything for good of the order? Hearing none, I will adjourn at 7:17.
that concludes our evening. Thank you, everyone.